article from Star Wars Direct or the Direct. Here it is. New Star Wars announcements prevented by Disney, which kind of puts a disclaimer on the rumor that Kennedy put the kibosh on announcements about Harrison Ford going to Marvel. Okay, it's like, whatever, dudes, whatever. Okay, so we'll tell you, this is about the Bellany article. Industry insider Matt Bellany of Puck reported that Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy was advised by Disney to stop announcing projects and creative partners. The reasoning for the blockage comes down to media management. Hey, just some other guy. Well, this is something that I didn't really touch on before. So let me finish. The reasoning for the blockage comes down to media management, an effort to prevent fans and press from further tackling Lucasfilm following cancellations of a slew of projects in recent years. Rogue Squadron announcement by Patty Jenkins. Hey, Jonathan, I'm fine. By Patty Jenkins and exciting press releases for Rian Johnson, D.B. Weiss, and David Benioff's respective trilogies are examples of Star Wars hype falling flat, an issue that Disney is attempting to avoid. Who's to blame for the Star Wars news drought? Lucasfilm had a good thing going from 2015 to 2017. In whose opinion? At least as far as marketing and brand awareness goes. The Force Awakens, Rogue One, meh. He's a left-wing shill, so he's not really a black pill. And he really isn't a fan of Kathy Kennedy. Let me finish. Force Awakens, Rogue One, The Last Jedi, though each received in dramatically different ways by the fans and casual audiences alike, were shown off during every commercial break across countless toy aisles and even on pieces of fruit. What was coming next was hardly a concern. That abruptly changed, and they're going to blame Solo for this. With the approach to Solo, and things haven't been the same since. Now, this is the Direct. It wasn't Solo that changed everything. If you go and look at the history, and the Direct will never admit it, Matt Bellany doesn't know what happened, I'm pretty sure. Even if you were to send all the receipts from what's been going on with Star Wars since 2013 of Pablo Hidalgo and other Lucasfilm luminaries attacking and bullying fans and their auxiliaries in the fandom, Jason Ward with Making Star Wars Explained, the she hag and her bitch, Hello Greedo, Steele Saunders, the biggest receipt I remember seeing both Hidalgo and Rian Johnson with "Your Snoke Theory Sucks" stickers from Steele Saunders, okay, which is the gayest stage name I've ever heard. Hi, I'm Steele Saunders. Oh, fruitcake. God. Whoever told him that was a manly name should be beaten with their own arms. Don't you think? Anyway. I'm going to skip some of this hyperbole and stuff. Between the response to the sequel trilogy, an uproar over endless cancellations and delays, the fans didn't want 99.999% of this shit. Okay, Star Wars fans have given the suits enough hell they can't go unnoticed. After the rise of Skywalker, Kathleen Kennedy shared that Lucasfilm would take a 3-year hiatus to get their theatrical ducks in a row. Had things gone according to plan, Rogue Squadron would be landing in theaters next December. Rogue Squadron isn't happening and likely never. What I thought here's the thing that they didn't really explore. Let's talk about it. They told her not to talk about any more new Star Wars releases. We got Lindelof and Chinoy announcing on their own that they're making a Star Wars movie, which to me looks like, oh, please just go announce it so people, you can sit there and say, I could say, I am going to make a Star Wars movie. And Disney's not going to pay for it. Disney tell me to go fuck myself. That's about what this is, okay? This movie will never happen. It's just like the Taika Waititi movie will never happen. Unless Kennedy leaves and Waititi comes back and makes it with Jon Favreau, who actually can sit on his head. Yeah, I do agree with you on that one. I think that, look, this is, now we've got Marvel in a state. Doomcock just put out a video saying he's heard that people are about to get fired. Well, yeah, it has become a level of delusion. And I kind of think it's Kennedy herself telling these guys to do it, or them doing it without being told on her behalf. I'm going to say it again. I don't think Pablo Hidalgo has an actual job at Lucasfilm anymore. All right? I think he's now just a contract consultant. Okay? That's what I think. All right? You go on his Twitter account. Let's go look at it, in fact. Because it's very obvious to me now with Rejwan leaving, and this is a big deal, telling Kathleen Kennedy she's not allowed to talk about Star Wars projects anymore. All right. Now, I know there are people out there that are going to say, well, just because they said that doesn't mean that she's the goddess on high. The Empress has no clothes. They told her to shut the fuck up. That's what that is. Think about it. Let's find. All right. This is what it looks like. You guys see that? Now he'll come back and say, my work is on there. Look at the cover. That's past work. So what's going on here? Rejwan leaving. Matt Bellany saying there are other execs getting ready to exit. He doesn't say a word about Kennedy. Not a word. Me. Well, you're right. And the reason why she's less talkative, I mean, I gotta tell you, man, they're not getting, look, I said this before, I'll say this again. It's a branding issue, okay? Anybody who's voted Republican in the last 6 years knows branding. If you get branded a dumbass by certain people, a dumbass you will be for the rest of your life, okay? I remember during the debates, the primary debates, Trump calling Marco Rubio Little Marco. He is now Little Marco, whether he is a good legislator or not. That's it. And all the other nicknames. Slow Joe Biden. Okay, that's branding. Kathleen Kennedy herself has done this to herself. What did she do? She gave in to Iger and Horn and decided not to go along with George's scripts. Got Michael Arndt so pissed off he left. When she was given power to do whatever she wanted, she fucked up with The Last Jedi. Look, before The Last Jedi, go back and watch World Class Bullshitters. Jeff and those guys saw this shit coming a long time ago. They were talking about toys not selling a long time ago, all right? So where we are right now is not surprising to anybody paying attention, okay? She branded Star Wars herself by not saying, we're going to do George's ideas, we're going to follow his lead, we're not going to make this a messaging relevant brand, a timely, at the moment relevant brand. It's timeless and it has to stay that way. We're going to respect these characters and keep that fucking promise. Okay? That's what she had to do. And she didn't. The fans noticed. The fans blame her. Look, Pablo Hidalgo is or was a mid-level story writer, lore, whatever, editor, and a techie. How much damage has his immature fanboy bullshit done to the brand? Okay, because of Twitter. Okay, all right. How much damage has Carrie Hart, probably by insisting this, that, and the other thing, done to the brand? Okay, think about it. Kathleen Kennedy is to blame because she wasn't paying attention. She didn't care. You know, she was the absentee mom. All right, and it's like, and now you got Disney saying you're not allowed to talk about new projects anymore. Yet we have Lindelof and Chenoy talking about their movie, their Secret Squirrel, never to be revealed, never to be seen movie. And I say something, Chenoy's the last person to be making a movie like this. And I'll tell you something else. You notice that The Acolyte, all minority cast. Director for this fake movie, this phantom movie, is a minority. All right. Kennedy is trying to hide behind the minorities because, look, they can't afford this. All right, and it's just, look, it's clickbait. It's somebody's strategy to get Chapek to let them do something. And Chapek, look, they can talk about all the parks they want. Galaxy's Edge could go away tomorrow and no one would know. They wouldn't, all right. And this is a small part of Disney, but it's an important part. We have to remember. A lot of people say Chapek cares, but he can't spend all his time worrying about it. When you've got billions of dollars chained to this franchise and they're losing money because of Hidalgo and Kennedy and Matt Martin and others at Lucasfilm, and you've got a guy like Jon Favreau who could fix Star Wars like that, waiting to be let loose to do it, you got a problem, don't you? But there's, Bellany saying there's something definitely happening because of the fact that she was told not to talk about it anymore. And it's almost like the Lindelof Chenoy thing is a fuck you back to the people who told her not to talk about it. All right? She wasn't allowed to talk about The Acolyte at D23 or Star Wars Celebration. Disney did not announce any of the casting. Neither did Lucasfilm. It was Leslie Headland and these people that may or may not be in a show that may or may not happen. We're at the end of October. We got one more week. It's supposed to be filming now. They haven't even announced a director. And even if they did, it would still be shocking to me that this thing will ever roll film. All right? I don't know. My thing is, I think that they're trying to do this stuff on the down low, and I don't think it helps. I think it actually hurts their efforts. I really honestly think that if they want to get this done and over with, they're going to have to pull the Band-Aid off. But again, Warner Brothers Discovery is way different. It's a way different company than Disney. Zaslav bought Warner Brothers. Okay, he bought it. He does have a board to answer to, but not in the way that Chapek does. Chapek is a hiree. All right, he's an employee. He was hired by the board. Okay, he was hired by the board. So my thing is, this stuff is going to be going through a lot of iterations, but just to reiterate, when you've got Matt Bellamy saying more executives are leaving, there aren't any movies on the docket. I don't care what Lindelhof says. There are none. You know, they give you a date. And that's an interesting analogy. That's good. They give you a date, 2025. Wow. That's a very kind of, always in movement the future is. Okay? Just because they have a date and they're working on a movie, they say, doesn't mean the movie will ever get off the ground. Doesn't mean we'll have a date, a year. Okay. Actually, if Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron there had been no COVID, and Rogue Squadron had started being filmed, it would be out in December. Okay. All right. I think COVID. Right, just some other guy. I think COVID actually stopped a lot of really bad shit from happening. It might have slowed down the inevitable downfall of Kennedy, but what she did and what happened with Gina Carano a year ago, she did that herself. Kennedy did that too. She did that behind the Bob's backs. She did that behind Jon Favreau's back. I'm like, look, I'm going to tell you something. I am not impressed with Gina Carano. She's not that great of an actress. The show she was going to do was probably part of the Great Reset, and her mouth fucked everything up. She kept her mouth shut, all right? And but what she did wasn't anti-Semitic in the end. Look, I have to give you a history lesson. In France, you had Vichy French collaborators turning over French resistance to the Gestapo in Paris. You had Italians loyal to Mussolini turning over partisans to the Italians and the Gestapo once the Germans took over Rome, which they did. What else? It happened everywhere. Poland, Czechoslovakia, Hungary, you name it. And she was basically using a photograph from the Holocaust to make her point, and it was a good point. But there are people out there just looking because they're looking for it. Anti-Semitism, call it anti-Semitic. All right. Here's a question you need to ask yourselves. And I would get canceled for this. Just wait till I'm done. The terrible fact is 6 million Jews were murdered by the Nazis during World War II. 6 million. They were marched out to pre-dug graves and shot. They were gassed. They were hung. Every kind of different fucked up way to murder people, the Nazis did it. But because 12 million people were killed in the camps, the other 12 million, other 6 million, all right, gypsies, Estonian, Latvians, Lithuanians, Finns, Russians, Poles, Czechs, Slovaks, French, British. There were Americans murdered in the camps. Greeks, Italians, Germans, German political opponents, be they conservative or socialist, and that the kind of socialist the Nazis liked, but there were homosexuals even though there were gay Nazis. Lots of questions about Reinhard Heydrich, even Hermann Goering himself, okay? And of course, the brown shirts and Ernst Röhm, they were notorious in their practice of homosexuality. Ernst Röhm being surprised in bed with a 15-year-old boy, and on the night of the Long Knives by Hitler himself. Okay, Rome lasted 2 days, and they executed him. So when I hear about the Holocaust, there are 6 million other people that don't get any acknowledgement. Father Maximilian Kolbe, he's a saint, gave his life at Auschwitz for another prisoner. Okay? Definitely not a Jewish rabbi, not Jewish, Catholic priest. Okay? It is something to think about. So when you hear people say something is anti-Semitic, you got to start going, hey, there's more than just Jews killed then. You guys were the chosen ones for this. But there were plenty of other people who suffered too. Okay? And it's time that the entire thing got acknowledged. All right? And again, what Gina was saying, it wasn't anti-Semitic. All right? Because it happened to a lot of different people. Look, it happens in China today. Chinese turning in their neighbors, their brothers, their sisters, their aunts, their uncles, whatever. Okay? That's what people like that do. Okay? So that was what she was pointing out. And these people are really stuck on themselves, I think. But let's go back. So we know that Kennedy's last stand was to get rid of Gina. And I actually believe it was Michelle Ridgwan. Now, when I think about it, who lost her shit over Gina. I believe that there were a lot of other people on Kennedy's behalf telling her things about Gina that Kennedy had no idea about. I don't think Kathleen Kennedy even met Gina Carano. Okay. Which, look, if I ran Lucasfilm, I would know every actor, be they voice actor or live action. I would know them. I would have them to my house for dinner. I would put on a barbecue in Wyoming for them. Okay, to have them all come up, ride horses, go fly fishing, whatever, and just get to know each other. Okay. Kennedy never did that. Okay, look, she couldn't be bothered, or she was scared, or she trusted the wrong people. And now we got this. Now we got, you know, Disney telling Kennedy, you're not allowed to say anything else anymore. I mean, and I think they're telling her to shut the fuck up about a lot of things. So I know I wasn't going to do another live, but I got to tell you, this, where is it? Shit. This, let me go back. Thing about Kennedy being told to shut up. That's a BFD, and no one's talking about it. I was in the grocery store when I think Andre and Tom and those guys were talking about this stuff. The biggest takeaways I get isn't even the Phantom movie that's being made, Kennedy being told to shut the fuck up, other executives leaving. And that's what has to be talked about. What is, because I said there's something funky going on here. This ain't normal, this ain't right, and it's not. But anyway, I gotta go because my husband's gonna be home pretty soon, so you guys have a good afternoon. And I'll see you guys around the galaxy.